There's a lot of stuff you can do yourself as a dry cleaner. Things like removing a level probe. These sit on the top of the boiler. These control your levels, and they do get scaled up. So it's literally just get yourself a large spanner, unscrew it, and just clean the tip up at least once every couple of months, just to keep the scale off it, right. And that will keep you a good connection. That will make sure your levels are right. Common issue dry cleaners face is the burner not starting up, and one of the major problems is where the fluff from the clothes or the lint gets sucked up into the air intake of the burner. That comes up here, and it goes into the burner chamber, and just at the front you'll find a little airflow switch, and there's a 14mm nut. You'll need a 14mm spanner. So undo this top cover, and undo this little 14mm nut, and you'll pull out, it'll just be a little, I'll show you, what we call the banjo. This can get clogged up with fluff very, very easily. I've already removed this one once today, and you can see this little banjo. It's got a little tiny hole in it, and then you can see the little hole there. If that gets blocked up, that doesn't allow the switch, this airflow switch, to operate, and therefore this is a safety feature, and the burner will not start. The controller inside here will be turning, but it actually won't start. And that's quite a common problem, and that's a very easy fix. You can do that yourself. You're not opening up any gas pipes or anything like that.
Fantastic.
And it can save you an awful lot of money. So I would say keep clothes away from the intake area. Check it periodically. And if you do have an issue, undo that. You could even check that yourself.
Leslie, how often would you say we should check that?
At least once a month.
Once a month.
Try not to store clothes around the boiler. There is different airflow switches. Depends on what model of burner, but they've all got an airflow switch. It's what starts the burner. There's a lot of stuff you can do yourself as a dry cleaner. Things like removing a level probe. These sit on the top of the boiler. These control your levels, and they do get scaled up. So it's literally just get yourself a large spanner, unscrew it, and just clean the tip up at least once every couple of months, just to keep the scale off it, right. And that will keep you a good connection. That will make sure your levels will work okay. I do recommend regular blowdowns. Obviously every day there is a blowdown. You should be blowing down at least every day from the lower end. This one, luckily enough, has got an automatic blowdown system, so you wouldn't have to do that manually. That's done on its own. But if you've just got a quarter turn ball valve like that one there, you just open and close that at least once a day.
So is there anything else like obvious that we should really be keeping an eye on a, say, I don't know, daily basis or weekly basis?
Daily checks, you should be checking the sight glasses, the level glasses, which this one's removed at the moment. Okay. But it sits either on the left or to the right, depending on the orientation of your boiler.
Sure.
And that's got some lever valves on it, which you'll open and close. That's an everyday thing. You should be doing that every day. That's the sight glass, and that's to keep. Basically, that's to make sure they're operating correctly. Some people think it's to clean out the ports, but it's actually to make sure it's a maintenance thing, because it's a valve. Any valve should be open and closed on a regular basis to stop it seizing up.
Sure. Sure.
If you went to your water valve at home, your stopcock, most places you'll go there and it's seized up. You can't turn it off. It's because no one's actually operated it in a long time. So if we're operating something every day, you're keeping it maintained without realising it. So by opening and closing the water level valves every day, you're keeping them working, and you're also being able to maintain your water level so you can see your water level. And obviously keeping these probes clean is very important. Regular bottom blowdowns, that's every day. And the most important thing about any steam boiler is the water you put in it. Okay, because you need at least as a minimum soft water running through the boiler, because we all know that hard water creates limescale, calcium build up. That will then start scaling up probes, level probes, so you don't get them operating correctly. Your pump won't operate correctly. Your blowdowns will get blocked up. You reduce the water space inside the boiler because that water space is then filled with scale, which then is a risk of what we call a hot spot. Basically, that's an intense heat spot in certain areas where you've got a large built-up scale, because that scale will then get hot, and then you'll get like a white. If you've got one of these boilers, it could be green or could be blue, depending on the age of it. You'll get the hot spots. You'll see one because it'll be a white, almost like a burnt patch on the outside of the skin.
Right.
And that's because the flue gases pass up and down.
Yes.
And where you've got a lot of scale, the heat is generated around that scale, and that's quite dangerous. So definitely keep your air intake clear, keep your probes clean, and this is all things that you can do yourself. Save yourself money, save yourself getting out the manufacturers or an engineer. Really, you should only really call your engineer out if you've got a part that's failed and that needs replacing. But keep some spares, you know.
Sure. Yes.
Keep yourself some probes.
Yeah.
Keep yourself maybe an airflow switch or a level relay, or even one of these up here. This is a steam pressure stat.
Right.
Okay, so what happens is, as the boiler's creating steam, it comes and travels down these pipes, and it switches these switches, and that controls your boiler. That turns your boiler on and off. So if any of this pipe work gets blocked up here, your boiler's not going to switch off, and your safety valve thing going to be lifting.
Brilliant.
Your safety valve is the most important thing, because that needs to be operating correctly, and that's tested once a year on an annual inspection is what we're doing here today.
Just finally, Des, you've been a great help. But what is this? Just out of our own interest, what was this?
Oh, this is a McDonald Miller water level float switch.
Okay.
So you can see the watermark just here, this level here.
Yeah.
So the pump would come on, and inside here is a float.
Yeah.
As the water level comes up, that float lifts up, and that switches your pump on and off, the water pump.
Oh.
So as the steam's being produced, your water level will drop,
that.
and then the water level will drop, and the pump will come on.
Then you got a mercury box there or something.
Yeah, this is what we call. This has got snap switches in.
Right.
They're now mercury free. When they first got shipped many years ago, they had mercury in it.
Right.
But as you know, we're not allowed to use mercury anymore.
Okay.
It's an illegal substance in this instance because of it's like a poison. If it breaks.
Right.
So now they're mercury free. They're just like a little on-off snap switch, what we call a snap switch. And as the float lifts up and down, that makes and breaks the contact
Brilliant.
to operate the pump.
Very helpful.
All right.
Des, thank you very much.
No worries. Any
Thank
questions you can email in,
You
and
can email, or you guys can ask them in the comments below section. Des, thank you very much.
no problem.
And we hope that you guys have found this very helpful as much as I have found it very helpful and useful. Take care. Bye-bye. Thank you.